Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Ulysses winning the first one on competitive mega random. But now we get into the almost pre-planned strategy portion of this tournament where everybody kind of knows the maps by now. They've played, 3 really, really high-level series on these maps, plus all of their practice. So they're starting to get a whole bunch of experience where that's concerned. So we'll see how it's going to go. But yeah, Gold Rush is the map. So what are the good gods here? Still do not know. The gold is all in the middle of the map. The hunt is all on the outside of the map. Second town centers have got really, really good hunt spawned on them nearly every single game. But with the map being so small, does that even matter? Because you might get one town center all in and just it's all going to be over for you there. So a very, very spicy time to be alive for this stage of the tournament. So we'll have to see how it's going to go. Ulysses has used his Zeus. Nullus has used his Hades. So there is still a very large amount of gods for both of these players. You can see the god depth here is nearly 11. The only reason it's not 11 is probably because some of the Atlantean gods they don't play very much. I don't see very much Gaia coming through for Nullus or Ulysses. Also don't see a whole bunch of Thor for Nullus or Ulysses, as well as some of the Egyptian gods not really making a showing in their god pool. But for the most part, they've got well and truly probably 1900 plus gods if you were to give them a ranking, because both these guys are easily 2K plus with their best gods on a serious gamer day when they feel like it. And this is kind of leads into the question of when you're playing in a tournament versus when you're playing on ladder. Why is it different? There is obviously the first obvious reason, which is the tournament rules make it slightly different. But when it comes down to it, players just really don't care that much about ladder games. When you're playing a tournament, your legacy is on the line. You're like, this is you at your best. So if you lose there, then you know that the other player is better than you in some degree, some way, say some shape or some form. You could say that it was a map's fault. You could say that it was the rules' fault, but they beat you in that position. It's a pretty long intro, but we are waiting for Nullus to green up as he has just hit that green up button. We're going to be moving in onto this map right now. It is Gold Rush spawning in the failing to load portion of the. Let me just show you what's going on. Oh dear. Hang on. Let's just go out here and oh no. Oh yeah. Let's save and start again because this feels very, very strange. And we're back to this page. Still the longest intro ever. We'll try again. That was very bizarre. I've never seen that happen before in my life. So we will get this. We'll get this sorted out. Maybe Nullus out. And we'll hit launch. Apologies for the delays, but this is a 2003 game, I believe, and it's a 2003 game not running on its native infrastructure because we're running through Voobly, so there are always going to be certain problems that arise from this thing. Anyways, onwards and upwards. Let's get this game on the road here as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They should be playing the same gods. And here we go, spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Hades. His name is Ulysses. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Nullus. Yes, the map is Gold Rush. A very, very interesting one here is we're going to be seeing a veto from, for some reason here, from Nullus it must have been, as that's the final veto in this series. And I'll hit this button while we wait for this. Alrighty. That's a really weird veto. Yes. I'm not sure what made Nullus want to veto that one, but potentially not happy with his start there. He wanted to get a bit of a better start. As we are launching in finally, 5 minutes, 45 seconds later. In the left side of the map, in the blue color, playing as Hades, his name is Ulysses. In the right side of the map, in the red color, playing as Odin, his name is Nullus. As he does... Oh, is that... That's how it's supposed to look. All right, so the Aurochs coming in here for Nullus. He doesn't actually drag those Aurochs close to the town center like he can, but look at this. Look at this tree spawn here for Nullus. This could have been a 0 ox cart opening for Nullus if he did this. This is something that I talk about quite a bit with Norse. It's that in the early game, if you can skip an ox cart, you should skip an ox cart. Tends to be the best way to play. And on a map like this with aggressive hunt in your starting line of sight here for Odin, dragging the Auroch or the boar or the elephant or the rhino or the hippo or whatever it is into your town center and using that early game ox cart to be your gold gathering ox cart is huge. But then on top of that, if you then also have the straggler tree next to the gold mine, that is equally huge here. As we'll see how this one's going to go. Ulysses isn't as lucky. There is this new build that it's very, very unknown, but there is this new build where if you do get yourself a decently close straggler tree as Greek, you can actually go for a 348 advance time, which is absolutely insane because you only have to build one storehouse and one granary. And the idea is you chop just enough wood to get yourself the house and the temple and an extra 50 wood for the next storehouse as well. And then you just chuck all your villagers over onto food and you advance really, really quickly. Then you can get yourself out Ajax, Chiron, or both your archaic classical age hero, put crazy amounts of pressure onto your opponent in the early game. But it doesn't seem like that's what's happening here for Ulysses. He's got himself 3 villagers on wood, which is a later advance time, not the ridiculously fast advance time which I'm talking about. In fact, it's not even a 4-minute advance time on this map. It's probably going to be a 4:30 or even later than that. So we'll see if Nullus is going to be able to find some advantage where that's concerned. The early game of Odin is really, really strong here because you've got literally 2 locations you need to check to put pressure onto your opponent in the early game with your Ravens. As we see the temple, that's so close to Hunter leading that Auroch there, but he doesn't. So you just send your Ravens over to the 2 spots, which is this spot over here and this spot down the bottom, and you can see exactly what's going to be happening here. Now, Ulysses here, he might be considering doing a fast second town center here. It makes a lot of sense with Hades to grab this town center, use sentinels. He's got himself Aurochs over here. He's got himself deer on the back. But that will give Nullus the complete control of the map to get all the hunt he wants and hit some pretty crazy heroic age timings to get himself a gold staff potentially here. As you can see, look at all the gold mines. While Sentinels here secures this hunt, it does not secure these gold mines at all. And imagine a hill fort getting slammed down on this position here for Nullus. I feel like, as we're seeing Athena come through here for Ulysses, I feel like the best way to play this map is very rarely going to be 2 town centers here for Greek against the Norse here. But we'll have to wait and see what he's going to be going for. As over here on the left side of the map, we've got ourselves 3 villages on that location, 7 villages over there, or in total, and 5 villages on gold. So this to me looks very, very much like a fast second town center from Ulysses. Now, one thing that Nullus might have been expecting here from Ulysses might have been that Ulysses would have gone Aranos here for whichever reason, but it's just not, you can't really predict that. I don't think that Ulysses is going to pick an Atlantean god here very often, as he's It's going to be completely fine. We see the Raven on this position over here. We're going to see military buildings getting thrown down immediately here as a relic does get spotted there and grab blue crystal shard coming into the temple over there as the villagers, they do get to the next age. We haven't seen any heroes coming out just yet as the Minotaur moving down to the bottom side of the map. Has he sent villagers? Yes, he has. He's sending his villagers over there right now. 5 villagers onto this position. He's getting his Ajax out now. He'll get his Chiron out pretty much straight after that as well. As the Valkyrie going to be searching around here to stop this one. It doesn't look like Nullus is going to be able to stop this. He's got the raiding cavalry coming in. His Hersa are here, but he needs to send them forward. And he needs to send them forward like yesterday to be putting pressure on this. As the Valkyrie going to be searching around, probably going to look for a forest fire here onto this position or this position. But luckily, two storehouses already up, and this should be enough of a space there to make that work. As the army going to be moving forward, the Hersa coming through, Chiron going to already be out, causing some pressure over here. We see the villagers retreating away. Forest fire does get dropped over there. One low HP villager doesn't go down, does jump into the sentry tower. 50 wood damage there. We'll see if the forest fire is going to move over to this side or not. Meanwhile, the raiding cavalry in with the Hersa chasing down the Minotaur, going to try and snipe a villager here. It can be very, very tough to stop this town center as Norse as more units coming through, as we will be seeing the Kadoskabots getting sniped down here. The raiding cavalry going to get headbutted there. Does end up going, getting pushed back as Nullus has to retreat back. We'll be losing one Hersa there as the Valkyrie going to be pulling back as well. Can heal that raiding cavalry back up, no problems. As the raiding cavalry is just moving around the map here, and Nullus has to figure out what the next kind of situation is here for him right now. If he goes full raiding cavalry and tries to go for a gold staff here or something like that, some sort of like heroic age gold staff has to be the option, because look at this gold mine over here. This is really exposed as well. So Ulysses is going to finish up on this gold mine probably around about 11 to 12 minutes into the game, move over here, and then he's going to start finding pressure onto that location there quite a lot. As we see another raiding cavalry, unfortunately, looking like it's moving into its death here as he gets hit by the town center and the Minotaur. As a military academy coming up for Ulysses makes a lot of sense as the raiding cavalry are going to be searching around. We do see the Chiron over on this position here. This is a very, very greedy from Ulysses. He's almost finished it up, but the raiding cavalry are going to be moving through here, and they should get some villager kills, but wait, Nullus, is he going to spot it? Yes, he does. Moves through. He's going to be looking to try and take out the Chiron here, but the villagers are over onto this position as they're going to be making a run for it as the Valkyrie now getting targeted down. It looks like Ulysses doesn't really care about his villagers, more trying to just pick off the Valkyrie here as Nullus is going to get a couple of villager kills. This is absolutely huge. Medium raiders coming through as well for Nullus. He's got lots of wood in the bank, so it looks like he wants to be dropping a second town center here as that villager does end up going down. The Valkyrie goes down. The raiding cavalry are going to be able to easily start hitting these wood villagers over here as the town center does get dropped. There's plenty of hunt on this position, so Nullus is not going for the fast heroic here. He's going for a second town center, which might not be a bad idea. Meanwhile, villager differential is very, very close as these villagers have to pull off the deers over here. He can eat those aurochs, lure those in, but so too can Nullus lure those away from the town center, which I think he absolutely should here. He should absolutely kill these aurochs as far away from that town center as he possibly can, but not having the time to do that just yet. We'll see if Ulysses is going to try and drag those aurochs in at some point as the raiding cavalry moving around. Now let's take a look at this. These sentinels here, they don't really spawn in a good position to defend this gold mine, especially if there's some sort of hill fort that gets dropped down over here as well, as that's got to be the plan here for Nullus. As Nullus pushes back in, pushes off that wood line, going to continue to be able to do that over and over again, and this is why Ulysses is throwing this wall up, because he realizes it's a very, very big weakness in this game, especially with this forest being burned out over here quite significantly. As the town center just about to get up, Ulysses pulling ahead a little bit in the villager count, but you do have to remember dwarves kind of count for an extra villager every 7 or so. So he's got 10 dwarves here, so I would guess that Nullus might, if he's got no dwarves elsewhere, Nullus is probably only behind by about four villagers at this point, or 5 villagers here. as the Ulysses army starting to get very, very scary right now. He's got himself the medium hoplites here. Nullus not paying attention, trying to pick off a Toxodia over there, but he does lose the raiding cavalry. Going to be swinging back as we do see the raiding cavalry coming through here yet again. Going to try and take down this wall, break open this wood line yet again. There's a couple of low HP units here. In fact, the Ulysses army can just walk around this. It's not that big of a deal. This low HP villager here, if he spots it, which he doesn't spot it. No, it gets garrison there as the raiding cavalry moving over here to try and take out the villagers on this location here. Any villager kills here will be very, very big as the villager's going to be retreating away. Will he get that one there, or the path blocking going to be just a little bit too funky there as he does snipe one, maybe two? No, he's going to have to retreat here as Ulysses still defending nicely. The villagers picking off the bear over here, and the Aurochs. Doesn't look like any villagers did get picked off there, but now Nullus is on 2 town centers. He's happily finishing off all of this hunt over here. There should be some Auroch somewhere on this map for him. I'm not sure. Maybe he's already eaten them. I think he's already eaten them there. As the villagers just about to finish up on that location there. There are berries on the front over here. Bears over here as well as he finds a couple more cows as the raiding cavalry still searching around. But look at this. Skadi on the way for Nullus. But Ulysses as well. Look at that timing there. Aphrodite, he's playing this really nice. I'd love to see him drop a stable here. The idea of just one stable here to make Prodromus is really, really key in the defense here for Ulysses. As the raiding cavalry coming around to check everything out, there's not going to be anything there. Searching over here onto the wood line, the wall is still coming up here for Ulysses to defend this one. More walls coming through here as Ulysses trying to roleplay a little bit like Viper from Age of Empires 2 there with the quick walls. And he does keep himself very much alive. Finds a villager over here, but it's going to be retreating back. Ulysses does control that very nicely there. As now Nullus setting up in the middle of the map. Not going for an aggressive hill fort here, which I think might be just a little bit of a mistake, especially with his raiding cavalry causing some chaos. He definitely could have planted it right here first, but making sure that he's not going to get gold starved here in this game. Hill fort goes down. He's going to be able to grab this gold mine really, really shortly. And here's the other thing about this map. Ragnarok is absurdly strong here. Ragnarok is so good because the gold mines are all exposed. You can't sneak a gold mine here. It's going to be incredibly tough. As we do see the curse coming down in this position, going to give Ulysses a whole bunch of pigs here. Makes a lot of sense for him to do that. Nullus' economy is still really, really big. One hill fort up. A temple coming up on this position as well as Huskal going to start coming through. You do have to be careful not to overdo it on the Huskal. You need to keep going in with raiding cavalry in this position because you know that Ulysses has got medium infantry already, so it can easily make Hypaspis here. But continuing to rotate through your units is going to be really important as Nullus is getting himself heavy infantry here. The raiding cavalry coming in onto this position. Plenty of throwing axemen here to help out as there is still a restoration remaining here as the raiding cavalry swinging around the backside over here. Going to be microing this one just a little bit to retreat away from those raiding cavalry, but losing a lot of HP here as Nullus also takes this opportunity to use this throwing axemen to take those out. Meanwhile, the Frost Giant going to be able to keep that catch that Minotaur out of position here as Nullus cleans that one down. We'll see if Nullus is going to take this opportunity to drop a hill fort or try and go to the next age as well as the army going to turn around over here. Those throwing axemen doing tons of damage. Ulysses got a little bit of resources left in the bank, but not spending them on much here just yet. Pulling back into his town center will give Nullus the opportunity to drop that hill fort. Here would be absolutely brutal, right? If he goes for it, he needs some time here to drop it. He does have frost as well as this gold mine over here is just about to expire. Ulysses or Nullus spots it now. He sees this. Will he recognize that this is going to be an opportunity for him to drop this or not? It's 125 to population for Ulysses to 130 population for Nullus, but Nullus' army is so much stronger than Ulysses right now. As the army coming through here, we do see the frost getting dropped down, and that's going to be basically a full army kill here. Please, if you can drop a hill fort, drop one here as the villagers all going to move onto this gold mine. As we see the throwing axe, we're going to do just that. The hill fort coming up on this position. Will Ulysses have some sort of an answer here in this game or not? As another throwing axeman coming through, we do see the villagers going to be eating up these bears over on this position. A market coming through as well for Ulysses. Very smartly so. He can trade resources for a little bit here to try and keep himself alive in this game, as the army coming through, taking out Ulysses' units really, really nicely here as the Frost just about to be finished up. Now, you do have to remember there is a restoration to use after all this is said and done. He can keep some of these units at full HP, potentially restoration right at the end of this, as he does do just that. We'll see if Nullus can hold here or not with the help of that hill fort underneath all of this fire. He's going to be making Jarls here to try and deal with the Nemean lines. We've got the Frost Giant trying to chase down that Nemean line there, as Rhyme comes through clutch there for Nullus to keep his Frost Giant alive for just a little bit longer, trying to garrison micro here, as it looks like Ulysses is holding on ever so slightly here, but his population is dropping now as Nullus comes through with even more units. The army retreating back into the main base right now, as villagers dropping left, right, and center, and Nullus knows that his hill fort is going to gradually be taking out villagers on this gold mine, and while Ulysses is going to be able to mine it, he's going to be losing a lot of economy while this is all going ahead. We'll see if Ulysses is going to make a smart move. The smart move would be to try and drop a fortress down on this gold mine and change the field of battle here ever so slightly, as Nullus has got so many resources in the bank. He's dropping this town center over here with one throwing axeman, which is really, really smart there. He's going to get that up. Is there a market up somewhere? Yes, there is, in the very corner of the map here as well. As the Ulysses units here pulling back ever so slightly, we see the Ajax over here going to get taken down as well to boot, as look at this with Nullus here. He's going through tier at this point, not going to be risking the Ragnarok, but tier is going to be just as brutal. It would seem very, very early Fimbulwinter here, going to be hitting at about the 17-minute mark, or a little bit before the 17-minute mark, as those throwing axemen are still just absolutely cleaning the hoplites up at this point, as well as the Frost Giant doing so much damage here. Ulysses still trying to control his Nemean line as best as he can. He's got dwarves all over the middle of the map now. More of those Huskars pumping in onto this position here, as Nullus retreating back here ever so slightly. The Frost Giant going to turn around, will be able to hit that Nemean lion there, as Ulysses is slowly pushing back here, but he's just not quite able to get through here. And when this town center gets up, maybe fortified town centers coming through as well, not just yet. When that town center comes up, that's going to be absolutely huge for Nullus, as Ulysses pulls back here. What can Ulysses really do here, apart from try and micro to the best of his ability and try and hold on for some sort of late game? Look at this gold mine is at 100 gold left. The villagers might need to push forward to try and shank this hill fort down, but tier is at 80%. Fortified town centers coming through for Ulysses. Gold mine expires. We'll see if Ulysses is going to hit the go button on this hill fort or not here, as he's pushing forward. He's looking to move in onto this location over here. He does have enough resources to drop a fortress on this position, but he needs some time here. There's the Mythic Age, there's the Fimbulwinter, there's the tap out. GG. Nullus shows how it's done. Fast 2 town center is a very, very difficult thing to make work here for the Greek player in this matchup, and not even Ulysses can make it work here. Even with that map, with the crazy amounts of hunt over here, the Aurochs over here, he just could not manage to keep up with the Norse economy here. You can just see how absolutely brutally crazy this is. He is so far in front. Civilian units are relatively equal, but he is so far in front. You gotta get pressure onto the Norse player in the early game. That's when they're weakest. If you don't, you're gonna find yourself falling behind mightily fast, or at least you need to find some way to get damage done onto your opponent's economy there as Greek here in this matchup in the early game. But Nullus is able to take the win here in game number 2, leveling the series. Love to see it. We've got an absolute cracker series here, it seems, as both players here ready to play in this finals. If you guys are enjoying it, please consider hitting the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.